Hey everybody, welcome back to the Breath of Fire 3 walkthrough. We have just finished the Donna Mines, and it's time to go pay a visit to an old acquaintance, an old rival. I don't know what to call him, but should be a familiar face. So, Daddy can't make any money, so obviously, you know, again, the Emmett's, I don't know, wouldn't say trick, his ploy, the one, you know, from when we were, or when the hero was a kid, obviously didn't work and was based on a lie anyway. His girl is obviously, if you hadn't already known that, she is alive and well. And he is back kind of hard up for cash. So basically he makes a deal with us. For 10,000 Zenny, he will become our master. And I don't know if I was... Did I not apprentice under him? I don't think I did. Emmett has some pretty decent skills. Not only that, but he is actually... Okay, so... When doing the, let's say doing the math on the masters as far as what you gain versus what you lose, Emmett has the best ratio. So he gives +4 AP, +4 intelligence, -2 power, -2 defense. So what that really ends up being is, like I was saying, so he's giving you +8 to a total of you know, AP and intelligence if you combine the two, at a cost of 4. So you end up with a net +4 for stat gains. At the end of the day, I'd say AP as well as intelligence are two of the easier stats to get anyway. So he may or may not be worth it. You know, from if you're just trying to pick masters based on like I don't know if I'd say efficiency, but you know, if you're just going for as many statistical gains as you can get, he is the most, I don't know, positive, I guess. So like you know, another example would be well, let's take we'll take. Here's a good one here. Okay, so like Hondara, he gives +1 AP, +1 intelligence, but a -2 power, so he ends up dead even. Let's see here, Gato, +4 HP, +3 AP, but a -1 power, -1 defense, -1 agility, -2 intelligence, so he ends up at a +2. So again, you know, of all the masters, Emmett is the most, you know, for stat points, he comes out the most ahead, I guess, if you were to, you know, weigh his positives versus his negatives. Anyway, so long story short here, we got, actually, you know what, I should touch at least on Emmett's abilities. He's got barrier at 2 levels, raise 1 target's magic defense. I never really found that skill that useful. There's a couple of places in the game where I could consider it okay, especially if you are under leveled. That is one of the it actually is a very good skill if you're under leveled, or you're trying to you know, you're going up against a caster and you're not very leveled. The next one is Mind Sword, and that is a really good skill too. That's at 4 levels under him, and then Enlighten at 6 levels. Just says raises user's intelligence. I don't know. I didn't do or use Enlighten much, and I'm not really sure why. It actually is a good skill. I think maybe just because I didn't. I always tend to use like the people that would be good with that, obviously, are like Nina, or like if you've got you know, maybe Momo, somebody you know, more of a caster or more caster oriented. but I just I always, it seems like I always end up using them for other things in a battle. You know, like say Nina is a good character to have War Shout on. War Shout is a group wide power buff, or shield, you know, basically a group defensive buff. So it always feels like I do, you know, I do other things and then let other people do the damage. So, you know, like Ryu or main character Gar, you know. But that said, it is a good skill. Anyway, so back to Sin City. Sin City's got some pretty decent armor and weapons. You know, pick up what you need. Before this though is you know, right before you go in here, you can this is the first time you can actually do anything in the Fairy Village, and my idea is actually to do a really good Fairy Village walkthrough, and that, in all honesty, that should be before this video. I'm actually going to end up making that particular the Fairy Village video at a later date, and I will actually put it before this video. So as of right now, that video is not done, but that should be done before this video gets uploaded anyway. So you know, if you're watching all these videos back to back, you will hopefully have already seen that, or at least that is my intent. But anyways, on to the Ogre Road. Sin City, by the way, has some kind of interesting dialogue. It's I don't know. I think I initiated some of the more humorous dialogue, but it is obviously a city filled with crooks, thieves, you know, maybe general lawlessness. But anyways, okay, so back to the Ogre Road. The Tricker is an old enemy. Obviously, I'm sure you know, it should not be the first time you've ever seen that. Here the Slasher is new though, and the Slasher does have a skill called Mind Flay. I'm not sure if I learned it or not here. It looks like I'm trying to. You're not gonna, obviously you'll see me using Examine during extra turns, but the reason for that is because I don't want to use the Defend command, because it has animation, and that just takes a little bit longer. So I just use the Examine, and there's no animations involved in Examine, so I just do that. Let's see here. So anyway, Mind Flay. Mind Flay is one of, there may be an item in the game that I'm not remembering off the top of my head, but it very well may be the only way to reduce an enemy's intelligence. It is a psionics based skill. Obviously, Mind Flay itself does do damage. It's actually quite a bit like Snap, where it does damage, and then it has that psionics. You know, obviously Snap does the defense down, whereas Mind Flay actually deals damage as well as you know, giving the enemy the intelligence down. So you can debuff basically casters with that skill. And again, can be useful in definitely in certain situations. Boom, IQ down. Gar learned Mind Flay. Very good. Excellent. One other thing to note about the Slasher actually is that they have a chance to drop the Swallow Eye, which is a very, actually I should say it is the most difficult to obtain stat item in my opinion. Oh, here's the horseradish. Definitely cut these three down. These horseradish, they will respawn every time you come back into the Ogre Road. But you're gonna need those for a side quest later, so you might as well just grab a couple while you know, the first time through. What a great victory! It's pretty great. It was a pretty great victory, I'd say, all around. Oh. Alright. Excuse me, sorry about that. I do a little stretch and a bend. Some more mind flaying. Oh, poor Agar is just dumb as rocks. Poor Gar. Ironically, I actually wanted to talk about that. So, Gar has one of, in my opinion, the coolest looking, like casting animations. So, like you know, all your characters when they're about to use the attack command, they've got a certain pose, and every time they're casting a spell, they've got a little pose. And I like Gar's. He he shoves his spear into the ground, and then it looks like his necklace kind of like is floating around him. I think it's the coolest. It's like the coolest animation in the game, and unfortunately he just makes a horrible caster. I guess I'd say in this game you can really do whatever you want with anybody, but it's unfortunate because he is much more, he's pushed much more towards the physical damage role. So it's unfortunate. Like I said, I think he's got the coolest casting animation in the game, and unfortunately he's just kind of a horrible caster. So yeah, so that's my opinion on Gar. That guy is a badass. Look at him. All right, we've got the word target. Man, that thing looks awesome. Okay, so the Were-Tiger, one thing to know, he runs at when he drops below a quarter of his health. He has 1,200 health, so anything below 300 he will run. Sorry, anytime he hits 300 or less, he will run. So if you could somehow bring him to 301 and then hit him for more than then hit him for 301, you should be able to get his EXP theoretically. But otherwise, if he gets a turn and you haven't finished him off, he'll just run away and you won't get any EXP. So he doesn't. I wouldn't say that it's something to really worry too much about. Even I guess I should say, especially since he doesn't have any items listed as being dropped from him. You can't steal from him either. So there's my attempt right there. Not a difficult fight though. This guy is I don't even know if I'd call him a boss, because he's just, I don't know, he's just kind of there, I guess. Granted, I was pretty over leveled obviously right now, but even in my I should say my extremely lower level playthrough, he was not difficult at all. Alright, so here I'm using Last Resort again, and this is obviously gonna hurt. There, Gar crit 374. What a beast. Boom. Yeah, so there he takes off on us. 0 EXP. Wop wop. No biggie. Wish I could think of what my masters were at this point. I'm sure I have footage, and I could probably find out by going back, but I don't know, maybe it's not that important. I'm going to assume I jumped into the fairy circle here just to check on my village. Yeah, I did, and I cut it out. If I remember right, it just said that my culture level had risen. I did the fairy village quite a bit differently than I normally do on this playthrough. I waited until a little bit farther on in the story. It was actually fairly soon to, I should say, not much farther in the future, but time progression, as you should, or I should have already explained in the fairy village tutorial. Time progression in the fairy village is after. Okay, so like there's two ways that time progresses. One, or that progression can happen. One is when the time skip happens, when Ryu actually becomes an adult. Because when you're a child, you can't do anything in there. There is absolutely nothing that you can do once you've I mean, other than I guess basically killing the dolphin. I guess I don't know. Technically, that counts as doing something for the fairies. But as far as like the actual fairy village and the time progression for there, the only thing it's completely sorry. There's no story time passage. Time will only pass due to random battles. Well, I guess possibly boss fights would probably count. But anyways, completely losing my train of thought here. And we're kind of running through this dungeon without explaining much. There isn't a whole lot in this. I don't know if we really call it a dungeon. It's so fast. Let's see here. Yeah, no new enemy skills. You can run into the Goo Titan here, and thus steal more life shards and whatnot if you'd like. But this is probably the first time you'll more commonly run into them. It's not the first time you'll ever run into them. You've got the possibility of running into them back in the Aigu forest. Where you can get Mary Leap at. But they are much more commonly found here. But anyways, I guess a little bit back on the fairy village thing, and what I did was I waited for a little bit, and then basically what I was doing was I'd check in at the fairy village, do a bunch of random battles, and not progress the story at all, and just build the fairy village completely, basically right all at once. I just I'd go in and then check out what happened, and then adjust accordingly. If I had a birth or something, I would assign that fairy to gather or hunting or clearing land, whatever. And then again, I would just leave, go fight a bunch more battles, a bunch more random battles, and then come back in. There's a couple of things that I will say. So actually, you know what? We'll just leave that for the fairy village. But anyway, so that is this Mount Levitt? Ugh, completely forgot the name of that place. Here you can check this little question mark house. There isn't much to do here other than grab what is in here. Let's see. Healing herb. Boy, they are just really helping us out with that one. Did I poke in here again? I did. Ah, well. So obviously, you know, I ran into a couple of battles, and I wanted to check culture level roll. Okay, so that was another time where I just basically at the beginning of the fairy village development, all I did was assign like 1 to hunting and maybe 2 to hunting, and then the other 1 to just develop culture. So you know, that is, in my opinion, the best way to do it. All right, so here we've got the roadblock. So we've got, I'm gonna call it like required recruitment, or maybe I should say required recruitment. Oh my gosh, that is a tongue twister. Required recruitment. Say that 3 times fast. No, I'm not going to. I don't think I can. I don't think my tongue can possibly do it. All right, so check in at McNeil. Head to the inn, and initiate the dialogue with the innkeeper here. You know what, Gar? It would be nice to stay at an inn, wouldn't it? Pamper ourselves a little bit. I like the way he thinks. All right, so McNeil's got its problems. Wild target running loose. Mayor's under investigation for wrongdoing. All right, but she's open for business. Good deal. All right, so Gar asks about this tiger. Away from us on Ogre Road. Got away? What? Say what? You mean you didn't kill it? Oh, girl. I am sorry. I am sorry for that outburst. Right up into the cedar woods. Okay. So our quarry escaped us and ran into the cedar woods. Gar offers. What a guy. Gar is just a defender of the people. You know, oh, there's a dragon in the mines. Gar to the rescue. There's a tiger in the woods. Gar to the rescue. I'm sorry. Gar actually is really cool. I like Gar. I should say I like adult Gar. You know, even though he's an adult the whole time. I still kind of don't like how they handled some of the writing for Gar, because it just feels like some of it doesn't seem, I don't know, it just seems weird. I guess it's kind of cool though that he actually develops, you know, it's nothing's more boring than a character that doesn't change, and in my opinion Pico is that exact, you know, he doesn't have like a personality. Like, again, you know, he plays a role in the game, but he doesn't feel like he has a personality. Hey-oh! Just making Loki pay. Making him pay. Boom. Too zenny. Anyway, so back to Gar. So, you know, Gar develops or changes over the course of the game. You know, he kind of, I don't know, you can kind of say that he's maybe blinded by his faith, and then, you know, then kind of has opens his eyes, and you know, he's more apt to gosh, I guess just not blindly follow or do what he's been told. You know, so that's very respectable. And here we're back to the Croctier Pond. I don't know why I grabbed a bunch. These are actually, you know, I wish I would have done this at the beginning of the game and just grabbed a ton of these, because they actually are very useful, especially in the beginning of the game. You can, you're kind of, you know, strapped for cash a lot of the time at the beginning of the game. You don't have the resources necessarily to deal with some of the status changes. You know, we'll just use, for example, the curs at the very beginning of the game. They cast poison on you. You know, you don't always have you know, you get a couple of antidotes. You know, you find a couple on the ground, and here I went the wrong way. I get lost. You know, I haven't been here for you know, a couple hours of game time, and you know, apparently I can't get through these woods anymore. But anyways, you know, the Croctiers are great. They're great at the beginning of the game. You know, it says they have a chance of restoring health, but the great thing is when you're out of combat, you can take that chance, and it doesn't matter. And then on top of that, they restore 5 health. You know, so at the beginning of the game, when you're weak, you have low health. You don't necessarily have a lot of, you know, antidotes and things to deal with status changes, and they actually are really great items. So. You know, and unfortunately, I didn't do that. But you know, it can really help with. You know, at the beginning of the game, you don't have a whole lot of AP for resting, or you know, for transformations, and you don't necessarily want to be using that AP on things like Purify, or even, you know, just the basic heal spell. So, again, at the beginning of the game, those Croctiers can be quite useful. Just making money. 5 zenny? Boom! Alright, so here's the flashback. So oddly enough, it looks like maybe refloated upstream. Which isn't really possible by today's standards. I don't know. It seemed weird. It seemed weird to me. Like, why is he there? Or how did he get there? You know. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. So, you know, just looking at the stream there, I couldn't really tell which way the water was flowing. And whatever. Not that important. All right, so here we've got the long-awaited reunion, and man, the first time that I was here, I was so excited that Rhea was still alive. Look, his laugh too. He kind of grabs his head and his stomach, and you can tell he's putting a lot of effort into that laugh. Alright, so let's see, what's Ree been doing? You know, running around, chasing people, hunting down crooks. He's kind of, I don't know. It's interesting how they went about this. You know, obviously Ree was pretty broken up about the main character in Tipo. And obviously wanted to get revenge on the people that hurt him and his family. Nothing. There's nothing there. All right. So, Ree takes off on us again. Which, you know, also kind of seems strange that he would just take off instead of kind of like, you know, teaming up. But, whatever. Alright, to the village. To the village. Get into some more fights with really weak monsters. All right, you know what? I think I cut this video before the village. So, anyways, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But I hope you are enjoying the videos and join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.